Hey, y'all. I think I'm connected on all 3 platforms. Yes. All right, people coming in hot. Saying she did that. Yes. As you guys may have seen in the intro, or not the intro, the title, because I'm going to be reading your comments, are reacting to the first joint appearance by the new Biden-Harris ticket. Exciting, right? How exciting is this? This is so good. Okay, let me say hi to some people. Let me get a drink of water too, Chad. Okay, let me say hi. Take a deep breath. Axel, Desiree, Rita, Ray, Golda, Rhonda, Good Game says, what's up, cuzzo? Leah, AK, Christina, Naturally Sonia, A Kyers at midnight. A Kyer? Let's see. Dr. Candace, right? Was that Dr. Candace? Yeah, Dr. Candace. Flocka, Delaney, Robin, Sarah. Fandom and Bullshit says, Reese, that was sensational. Oh my God, yes, it was so good. We're gonna get to that. Hey, H, Peppy, Selena says that was awesome. Lynn Marie, Rhonda says it was amazing. I cried. Helena, hey, Chocolate. Tony says, how good was that? I mean, good. That was pretty damn good. Y'all got to admit it. Tall, Dark, and Lovely. Hey, Jason, MD Turb, Courtney. We in here. Yes. Hey, Ashley, Archbishop. Girl, open and shut. I like that line. I think she's going to work on it a little bit more, but that was a good line. Hey, Lene, AK. Robin says, Kamala was awesome today. Sarah says, been waiting for you. I'm here now. K-Hive in the house. JKL says, she nailed that speech. She did. Hey, Jason. Alexandria said, Joe had a little pep in his step today. That was so responsible. Did y'all see all the social distancing, the masks? I mean, it was a little awkward because, Kamala's a hugger, Joe Biden's a hugger. And so you didn't get that kind of like come together, like, raise the hands in the air moment that you would typically get. But I still thought it was great. But I mean, I think it sends a good, strong message as well about social distancing and responsible behavior in the age of COVID. So I thought it was good. You got to walk the walk and not just talk the talk. Joe was not fucking around. No, he said, Kamala, once you stop talking, I'll come by. You got to have your mask on, no, homegirl. He was not walking into that droplet space until Kamala had her mask on. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Hey, B Dizzle. Rita says, I got chills listening to Kamala. Yeah, Rhonda says when Joe dropped his head, I started crying. Yeah, I think that there was so much emotion in that speech that was so authentically delivered. And I think you kind of have to, I'm going to get to that. Hey, Shantae, Rhoda. Christina says she is amazing, phenomenal. I agree. Hey, B. Hey, Auntie. My Auntie Sonia's on. MD Turb says, did she do that or did she do that? She did that. My girl Tamar had a song. She did that. Flocka said, I became a Biden fan today. I really liked what Biden had to say. I really liked what Kamala had to say about Biden. So yeah, I agree with that. Let's see. Desiree said, Biden brought his A game. Kamala got that ass focus. I've heard some really great feedback about how that was one of Biden's stronger speeches. I haven't listened to a bunch of Biden speeches, to be honest with you, but that's what I've been told. But it was a great speech. Great speech. Haunt says that was epic. Gadsby Girl says Kamala was great today. Archbishop said I cried so much. Lots of people cried. I've heard that too. I'm not a huge crier, but I was definitely sentimental. because it's such a huge moment. Sarah says, damn, she made a powerful speech as usual. It's so weird because this is happening and the convention is next week. So it almost is like, okay, well, what y'all gonna say at the convention? Cause y'all done covered all the bases today. So whoever the speech writers are for the convention, y'all got a tall order because they already nailed it today. It's gonna be hard to come out with some new stuff. Oh my gosh, this is so many messages coming through. Let me see. Okay, let me get through them a little quicker. Less commentary, more saying hi. Okay, I cannot. It's too many messages. So I've already not seen some of them. Hey Julie, it's going too fast now. Okay, it's going too fast now. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I like to say hi to everybody, but it's too many messages right now. So hi. Oh my gosh, you guys, this has never happened. I've never seen these messages go by so fast. Hey, Brandy says it's happening. Woohoo! Hey, Reese, we did it, baby. Yes, Diamond. Nola, hey, Jake. It's going by so fast. B says, seeing so many new supporters for Kamala, and we should welcome them rather than shame them. Yes. I've said that. I've said take the win, y'all. Mamala. I love the Mamala line. Okay, let me try to. I'm going to have to skip some of y'all. Brian says, hey, Reese, feeling hopeful for the first time since last November on the campaign trail with Kamala Harris, and seeing how happy she was made me so happy. Yeah, what I can say is that it did not at all appear like an arm-twisting decision. There was very authentic, warm words between both of them. Hey, Chantel. And so I really, I love that. There's been so much toxicity around the process, and I think that they really turned the page. They set a great united tone. They were very complimentary of each other, and I appreciated the way that they introduced each other. I'm going to go through some more comments. Kim says, hey, cousin, in my head. Yes, cousin. Let's see. It's crazy how many messages there are already. But everybody's been complimentary of this speech, which is awesome. Hey, Darion. We're gonna be petty. Yesterday I was petty. Today I'm gonna try to be less petty. Jennifer says, my soul is still vibrating with excitement. Both speeches passed my test, but Kamala was fire. Yes, Johnny says, did not expect to tear up, but I did. What? Melanie says, I commented that I'm still happy was told to violate a Facebook standard. That's weird. I love they walked out together. Yes. B says, my 87-year-old dad to tell me she was the right pick after watching this speech. Listen, if you didn't know who Kamala Harris was, maybe you're just a strict Biden fan and you don't really know about Kamala. You're like, I'll vote for a toenail and lobotomy over Trump. Then I think this was a really exceptionally strong introduction for Senator Kamala Harris to, to a new audience, people that are, Joe Biden has 98%, name recognition. He's a well-known entity. And I think that he just did an awesome job introducing her. Tall, Dark, and Levy says, did you hear Joe say we're going to protect Kamala? Can we? I would like that. I would really like that. Let's see. Madam Vice President and Most Valuable Player, MVP. Yes. Kamala made the case today. I thought it was really strong how both of them made the case. And what I liked about it, I don't know if you guys saw the images, but there was like this video that I saw of this video of people just trying to get a glimpse of Kamala. People were like running, at the venue. And I think there is that excitement around it. And, people try to say, Kamala's not going to bring excitement. I'm like, y'all just smoking crack. Y'all really just smoking crack to believe that. It's really interesting, people that are discovering that a sitting U.S. senator of the largest state in the nation, state of 40 million people, that overwhelmingly won her Senate race, and that's hugely popular in the state of California, is actually popular among a lot of people. I think it's so weird how this is a revelation to people. But the proof is in the pudding. Whoa. Let's see. I'm trying to see who made this comment. Whatever your screen name is, I can't tell what it is because it's just emojis. But somebody said ActBlue has raised $30 million since yesterday. Hello. That is massive, massive, massive enthusiasm. Hakeem says, I'm a huge crier and I've been crying since yesterday. Lots of criers. That's good though. Emotions are very, very, very healthy. I know Roland is coming up. Normally I try to be finished before the show, but I was like, ain't nobody gonna come see this over seeing Kamala and Joe, so I had to wait till after they went out. Anniversary of Charlottesville. That was the first I'd heard that today. I guess maybe, I don't know if it's the anniversary of the Saturday clash or if it's, that night before they have the tiki torches. I'm not exactly sure which day that refers to, but I actually, to be honest, hadn't really seen that before Joe Biden mentioned that today. Don't forget to hit the like button. It's a lot of y'all in YouTube, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me, please. Hey Dietrich, Carl, C. Mary, Denise, Alvarez. I mean, oh my gosh, it's so many people. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. And somebody says you have to slow it. I can't slow it because this is it's not on YouTube where you can have the slow option. Jill and Doug, that was very sweet. Let's see. Karine Jean-Pierre, what did you say? Being named Kamala's chief of staff. Yes, that's great. I think that's a great person for her. And historic pick, I think somebody had said, I want to say, was it Donna Brazile or somebody like that had said that it's the first time a black woman had been in that position. I think that's fantastic. Deborah Tony Jones says pink and green until January 2021. How many of y'all have AKA friends or Howard friends? Child, you can't tell them nothing. I'm telling you, the HU folks, they talking they shit. They talking cash shit. I'm not mad at them, chill. Because if Kamala went to UCLA, you wouldn't be able to stand my black ass. So shout out to HU, I'm like, I'm going to have to get me a certificate or something so I can claim HU. I don't know what I can do. They got a little cooking class, a little seminar. I can get a certificate. I want to claim HU. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, no. Much love to HU. Howard University, they would say the Mecca. Those are their words. Let's see. Valerie Jarrett said what did she say? Something on, I don't know. Anyway, I can't keep up with it. Record-breaking fundraising day. Yeah, I heard $24 million. Whatever the number is, 24, 30. I don't know. I haven't fact-checked it. But whatever the amount is, it's big. Elaine has asked Haley Taylor Schlitz if there is any excitement. Shout out to Haley. Haley has a new Twitter account, ambitious_club. Follow her on there. I just adore her. I swear she's really been in my thoughts since the announcement. And I did we exchanged a couple of DMs, and I just love her. She's the future, and I'm so proud to have stood by somebody that inspires her in that way. Okay, I'm sorry if I haven't shouted you out. I wish I could, but I'm trying to catch up. Oh, okay. Mayor, I was told to Kara says Mayor Breed gave Anderson Cooper the business regarding his leftist attack BS. What happened? I did not hear about that. Hey, came over from Facebook because I can't see comments and listen. It seems like a lot of people are on Facebook and commenting. I don't know, child. I guess these things are acting fickle. Kamala made a lot of firsts being chosen as VP. Yes, first black woman, first woman of South Asian descent, first black person to be VP. So it's so interesting because in a lot of ways, Kamala Harris has not just made history as the first black woman in the areas that she's made history, but she's made history as even the first black person. She was the first black person, man or woman, to be elected to San Francisco District Attorney. She was the first black person, man or woman, to be elected to Attorney General. And she was the first black person, man or woman, to be elected to the Senate from the state of California. Add South Asian for all those firsts as well. Shout out to Kamala's Desi folks. I saw somebody say something like, Indian folks, how are you feeling? And I'm just like, you ignorant ass bitch. Motherfuckers want to sit up there and put it out there like trying to kiki or be funny. And the thing about it is, if you don't see how you're not ever gonna see how all people are reacting, but if you don't see how Indian Americans are supportive of Kamala, you need to check your own timeline, because that means you must not be following none of them. Okay, because I follow a lot of Indian Americans, South Asian Americans, and they've been ride or die for Kamala. Just last week, an Indian American group who's investing $10 million in the election said they wanted Kamala Harris. So if you sitting up there trying to be funny and trying to be shady and act like, Indian people aren't even claiming her or whatever the fuck off. Don't be ignorant and stupid. It's a celebration for all of us. It really is, Joe Biden says he mentioned both of both parts of her heritage. Kamala Harris, said that she's a black woman, which she's always said. And I'm sure next week at the convention, she will shout out, really go into more detail about her background in terms of her mother being an Indian woman, immigrant. And so, yeah, I think we're going to be having more discussions about the diversity of her background. I think it's going to be great. MacGyver says this, I'm a Delta with a bunch of AK friends. They already driving me crazy. Alexandria says all the Divine Nine is lit right now. I'm a Zeta, so hype. Okay. Tamika says Joe had one flub today that got me, saying no president has ever spoken like Trump. We all know better. But his repudiation of Trump across the board made up for it. I hope Kamala balances out those gaps. I did notice that. I do want him to stop saying stuff like that a little bit. Like Trump is not the first. Trump is definitely not the first racist ass fucking president who said racist shit. But whatever. I'm not gonna be totally. I'm not gonna quibble with him too much. Divinely Created says, LOL, my little sister's a new HU student and she's still a little lost, but she will get it soon. Okay. The 33 says, I watched the One with Black Woman telethon. It was nice to see so many black women come together. And Star Jones, I joined her for the last couple of minutes of her portion. And I just loved getting a chance to, mark the occasion with my girl Star. Ride or Die Kamala, K-High VIP. Let's see. Jazz says, I'm so ready to fly home for the inauguration. It's going to be lit. I don't know how lit it's going to be. We ain't got no goddamn... we don't have any vaccines and shit. So, I don't know. I'm hoping and praying that we'll be in a much better position by the time inauguration comes so we can party shit, because I want to turn up too. I turned the fuck up for both of President Obama's inaugurations. So I would love to turn up this time, but we'll have to wait and see. But we're going to celebrate, even if it's a social distance celebration. Let's see. Okay, Denise says, hey, Reese, many people are getting flagged for going against community standards, and we're not saying bad things at all. We all happy. I don't know what that's about. I haven't changed any settings on Facebook, so that is really weird Very weird. I don't know what's going on, but I'm sorry about that. Y'all can go over to YouTube and comment there if you're being censored. I'm sorry. I don't know what that's about. I guess Facebook is acting an asshole. Let's see. Inauguration step show. Yes, we can have that virtually. I live in Southwest DC at the waterfront. Everybody invited. Okay, girl, MacGyver. Joe and Kamala have heads scared. Rudy called her Pamela. What? Kamala will be the first swagged out VP in a long time. Okay, so I think we've covered the speech. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was, let me talk about Kamala's part. Kamala's part was that speech was something that literally, somebody says hashtag Jomala. I think that's cute. I like that. But what I was saying is the speech that she gave is something that was so personal and that only Senator Kamala Harris can give, especially when she talked about Beau and just that connection that they had. And I mean, we know that simpatico was a big part of what Joe Biden was looking for. And I think that she just delivered it in such a touching way. And it seemed very clear to me that Joe Biden was very moved by it. It almost seemed like he was on the verge of tears. We know how much his son, Beau Biden, means to him. And I think that kind of loyalty and long-standing relationship and being able to talk about it and talk about him in such a beautiful way is just something that you cannot duplicate. You just cannot. And I think more importantly, what it also showed is that, Kamala can speak about Joe Biden and his legacy and who he is as a person, his character, in a way that has a sense of authority, So I think she did an amazing job with her speech. She prosecuted the case. She said it's an open and shut case. And I think, like I said, I just think that they hit it out the park. Both of them hit it out the park. It's a weird situation with social distancing and COVID, but it's an authentically strong ticket. They don't have anything but lies on Kamala. Everything that people have said about Joe is old news. And so I think it's going to be a very, very, very formidable ticket. It's going to be very formidable. Somebody shared a hit piece from The Guardian. Listen, that takes me to my next topic. Okay. So we have a fight ahead of us. Okay. So that's why I'm calling the second part of this Kamala 101. Okay. This is going to be a fight for 83 days, as Senator Kamala Harris said today and Vice President Joe Biden said today. But we have to be strategic, people. We have to be strategic. Because this is what I found out. A lot of people don't know what brought me to Twitter. When I came to Twitter, I had a couple hundred, followers. When I came to Twitter and came to really advocate for Kamala, I have been fighting tooth and nail on Instagram. Instagram is a cesspool. I was like, you know what? This is stupid because I'm arguing with a fucking asshole on Instagram for 2 hours straight. And it's just me and this asshole going back and forth. And the end result is, I just don't like Kamala Harris. Okay, so that's a fucking waste of time. All right, I've done that. I did it for at least a month. Okay, don't do that. Don't do it. So what we have to do is we cannot get sucked into trying to convert one person. It's going to be some people that don't like Kamala, okay? It's going to be some people that don't like Joe. It's going to be some people that aren't going to even fucking vote. The chances of you if somebody is trashing Joe and Kamala or just Kamala and they say they're not going to vote, then believe them, because 50% of Americans don't vote, okay? So you're wasting your fucking time. It's not going to make or break. I'm telling you, it's not going to make or break this election if that one fucking asshole on Twitter, on Instagram, or Facebook does not like Kamala Harris, does not like Joe Biden. That is not going to make the difference. You fighting with a fucking troll for 2 hours is not going to win this election for Joe Biden. And you and Kamala Harris. And you walking away is not going to lose the election for Joe Biden and for Kamala Harris. Okay? And so we have to be strategic. Now, I'm going to give you guys some, just let me give you guys some tips here. Okay. So when I went from Instagram, I had several thousand followers, but you know, Instagram has bullshit, whatever. So I only had a couple hundred followers on Twitter. Now I got over 9,000 followers just overnight because people want to know about Kamala Harris, and you've come to the right place. But here's the thing. This is what I found out. I can respond to a person who has 115 followers. If you have 150 followers, then that tweet, if it's just a person's random timeline, okay, you just stumbled upon it, that tweet is probably gonna get max 100 impressions, meaning 100 people that are watching that it will come in their timeline. Okay, most of those people will be assholes like that. Okay, so that's number one. Now, if I go with my 63,000 followers and I comment to that fucking asshole who has 100 followers on their timeline, guess what? I've now elevated that person. Now, there's a pile-on effect that might be satisfying because, okay, now everybody's gonna come and drag this motherfucker. But the problem is I've now amplified this person. Okay? And so I don't get anything tweeting to this person, which is not going to show up in my regular timeline. It might show up for some people, but I'm not going to really win the battle talking to this person whose fucking tweet will be seen by 10 people max. Okay? Versus if I tweet something on my timeline with my followers, now I've reached 50,000 people or 10,000 people or 5,000 people. So is my time better spent reaching 5, 10, 15, 50,000 people? Or is my time better spent talking to some fucking asshole whose tweet is going to be seen by 10 people? Think about it. Now, there's strategy to this. So again, if you just see a person on their timeline talking shit, fuck them. Who cares? And before you respond, just go to their timeline and look and see how many likes and comments and retweets they have. You just go look at it. You know what they're going to be doing? They're going to have 1 like, no retweets. If you look at these people, nobody gives a fuck about their opinions because nobody is liking their shit. Nobody is retweeting their shit, which means that Twitter is not showing their shit to anybody. So fuck their opinions, okay? Now, where there's a difference is when you have, let's say, a Kamala Harris status, right? Kamala Harris tweets something, and then you want to respond because somebody has, misinformation, disinformation. That's a useful thing. But guess what? You don't have to engage with them if it's something you can refute. If it's something that is substantively you can refute. If somebody wants to say heels up Harris, that makes them a fucking asshole and disgusting and a pig. Report and block, okay? But guess what? Fuck them. If somebody says she locked up black people for weed, then you can show them the USA Today article from the San Francisco Public Defender that said, actually, no, bitch, she didn't. But when you put that post there, comment, and then block. Don't continue to engage, okay? So, here's the rule. Loser's timeline, ignore. Okay? Their own timeline, they can be as loser, as degenerate, as mad, and sad as fuck. Forget about them. If it's a major timeline, if it's like ABC News, if it's fucking Kamala's status, if it's Joe Biden's status, if it's a place that attracts people who are not zealots one way or another, it's good to respond. Matter of fact, if you see something, then respond to it. You know, if it's something positive, put a yellow heart or something like that, just to engage with it. Because guess what? If you engage with positive things, that helps that content be seen by more people. You don't have to say a lot. Just put a heart emoji. Okay? The simple stuff that we can do. I'm trying to give you guys these tips. All right? Now, if it's a prominent person, now we know that they're prominent people, and I give it to the K-Hive, because K-Hive don't give a fuck. K-Hive will go anywhere on anybody's status and drag the fuck out of them. I don't have a problem with that if they have a big enough platform, because if you have somebody and they get thousands of retweets normally or hundreds of retweets normally, then, and you are willing to go into the lion's den, more fucking power to you. I salute y'all. I see y'all. Y'all be holding it down. So definitely drag the fuck out of those people, okay? Definitely not a problem to drag them. But make sure you're dragging them and you know what the fuck you talk about, okay? Don't just drag people and then I be saying sometimes y'all drag people and I'm like, that ain't even a right answer to that. You can rebut it, but you ain't rebutting it properly or whatever. But it's a good idea to drag people that actually get high levels of engagement if they're lying on Kamala Harris. All right. So again, if it's a platform that's not any particular person's platform, it's a news outlet, and you know they're posting something positive, then put a heart emoji, put a whatever the fuck comment, retweet it, like it. Make sure you engage with that content. If it's something negative, don't retweet it, because then now you've amplified it. Don't like it, but comment and refute it and move on. Okay? Do we have that part together? Same thing if you have, let's say, a person that's supportive of Kamala. Maybe it's a celebrity or somebody like that. Leave a heart emoji. Just interact with it. Robin said it. Engage with good content. Okay? We need to engage with good content. That's how all of these things work. And you'll see more good content, which helps your mental health. And everybody will see more good content. Okay? So I will try to put this in a tweet thread, but I don't know if I'm going to have time. Okay? Also, report. Block and report people. That is your friend. Go ahead and report these motherfuckers. Fuck them. If they have 1 or 2 followers, definitely report their ass for being spam. Don't just let them hang out there. So, but now that we have at least some basics, and like I said, the goal of these people, some of these things are bots and trolls. Their goal is not for you to see. Your goal is to convert people. Their goal is to demoralize you, to make you feel like, oh, it's not worth it, people don't like her, and blah blah blah, and then you feel all sad and depressed, and oh, we're gonna lose, and then you give up. That's their entire goal. So you feeding them is not going to result in anything beneficial. It's not. I know you feel like the win is just right there. If I just give them this one more receipt, and if I just give them that, then I'm gonna convert this person. That's not their goal. Okay? If somebody comes onto your status, okay, your tweet, and talk shit, hide, reply, and block. And report. Okay? What I see, and I have to put these announcements out now, is I see people who, I block this motherfucker, and then I come back an hour later, I'm like, damn, y'all motherfuckers done had 5 or 6 damn interactions with this asshole, and this person's motherfucking goal is to derail whatever the fuck I'm talking about, because it's obviously positive and pro Kamala, and try to derail the conversation. Don't do that. Now I'm getting better at the hide reply. I would have loved to have the hide reply option last year, but engaging with trolls on your page is stupid. because it's your page. You can hide the fucking reply and block the motherfucker and never think of them again. Going back and forth with them is just, again, to demoralize you and to inject shit into your fucking timeline. So that's what you do, okay? And if you see somebody talking shit on my timeline, then the only thing you need to say is tag my ass and say report block. And if I ain't on it, I will get the fuck on it and make sure that I have hidden their reply and I block their ass and I report them, okay? So on Twitter, somebody's saying, can you explain how to reply? There's like a little icon, right? And you click on it and it says, and there are options like hide reply and some other shit. I don't know. But anyway, you do that and it hides a reply. Now, I think there's a way people can see the replies, but fuck it. If they want to go through all that trouble to see the replies, that's fine. But otherwise, it's making it harder for people to see the disinformation and misinformation and smears and just overall bullshit that people are trying to spread on your timeline. So again, remember, this election is not going to be won by converting belligerently ignorant people. It's not. We have a crisis of ignorance and stupidity in this fucking country. Okay? Just like we have stupid motherfuckers who don't want to wear a mask because they think this shit is a hoax. There are legitimately stupid motherfuckers in this country. We can't help them all. We can't deprogram them of their stupidity in a fucking tweet, okay? 280 characters is not enough. So, this is not a game of converting the fucking belligerently ignorant, the degenerates. That's not going to be how we win. The way that we win is reaching people that are maybe a little like, oh, I don't really know a lot about her. I don't really know anything about her. If somebody says, well, only thing I've heard about her is X, Y, and Z, that's a person that you can reach. Okay? If it's somebody who was like, Kamala Harris locked up black people for weed, okay, that's fine. Guess what? You refute, block. That's it. That's not a person you need to really engage with. Okay? Unless you know these people personally, then you go ahead and argue with that motherfucking ass, but don't argue with a fucking internet profile. That's stupid. But that takes me to my next point. The best way to be helpful is actually talking to people in real life. So there's phone banking, there's text banking, and there's actually people that you know. Every one of us knows somebody who is not who is not a Kamala supporter or a Joe Biden supporter, but they're not hostile to him necessarily. Maybe they just don't know enough about them. They don't know about how these things relate to them. And so we can use our voices to talk to people in real life. Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like people are getting reported on Facebook. I don't have any idea how that works because I'm the only person that's a moderator on my Facebook. So I'm sorry if people are really I'm sorry people are targeting y'all. That's fucked up. That's targeting me too, but we're going to push through, y'all. So anyway, talk to people in real life, okay? Talk to them in real life. Teresa says, be kind, be open-minded. That is a very good advice. I'll be honest with you. I'm not that good at that. But I think that's great advice. That is very great advice. But yeah, I think we have to be willing to talk. We have to be willing to talk to people that we know in real life. If somebody just doesn't want to have a conversation, then fuck it, don't have a conversation with them. But if somebody is interested, a lot of times people seeing that you're passionate kind of makes them like, okay, well, this person is really adamant about this. This person is really passionate about this. I know that's the case for my family and my friends, you know. And so just be willing to do that. But so we have that, right? Talk to people in real life. Volunteer with these campaigns. There's a lot of tools now. You don't have to talk on the phone, really. You can just do texting. Just Information says, so you want us to ease up on the dragon, huh? That's not what I said. No. You are still well within your rights to drag people. But what I'm saying is strategically drag. If you want to drag somebody like me, I'll say, you're a liar, fuck off, post the link, block. That's dragging. And I'm going about my business. I'm not going to talk to this motherfucker over and over and over again. Okay? There's no point in me going back and forth with him. So that's what I'm saying. Don't go back and forth with people that only want to sit up there and suck your energy. You know, I remember I had a conversation on Instagram. I was like, I'm done with Instagram. And somebody, smear number one. I refuted it. Somebody said, Kamala Harris didn't prosecute Oscar Grant's killer. I'm like, how the fuck would Kamala Harris have prosecuted Oscar Grant's killer when Oscar Grant fucking killer was prosecuted in goddamn Alameda County, which has a completely different DA, and the motherfucker was charged and convicted. So what the fuck does that have to do with Kamala Harris? And then the person just moved on to another smear, and I was like, are you fucking shitting me? And so that's what they do. They go smear until they run out of memes, and then they say, well, I just don't like her. So then what the fuck was the point of me talking to your dumb ass if you just didn't like her? That's all the fuck you had to say from the jump. So I'm not saying don't challenge people. I'm not saying don't drag people. I'm definitely not saying that. But what I'm saying is be careful to not elevate people, amplify them, not bring more attention to them, and be careful to not go back and forth with them where you're really giving them an opportunity to move on to the next smear. Because it starts at one smear, right? That's what sucks you in. But then by the time you done, they done had a whole laundry list of smears. And so, did you really help Kamala if you help this person put out 10 smears? If you had just shut the fuck up and let their ass alone, it would have been one smear. Is that helpful to Kamala? No. Or Joe Biden? No. So that's what I'm saying, strategic. Went to the For Harriet Live and they kept saying Kamala's a cop. And what you guys have to understand is that there is actually a social media bot troll farm that is about smearing Kamala Harris. So you're going to encounter negative comments. And you know what? If there are going to be some people that will formulate their opinion because they saw some fucking asshole make a negative comment on Instagram about Kamala and they believed it. Those stupid motherfuckers probably don't vote anyway. So there's no point in even getting all bent out of shape about it. You'd be better off converting other people, okay? So I think the most important thing is, like I said, don't waste your time on fucking assholes. Make sure you engage with positive content. That is so important. Engage with positive content. If you engage with positive content, that encourages people who are posting positive content to continue posting them. And it helps that content be seen. If you don't engage with negative content by people from people who the shit wouldn't be seen by anyway, you're helping, okay? You can't get emotionally invested in these bots. Block and report. That's how you're going to help. Block and report. Okay, now on your profiles, when you're talking to people, put out positive content, okay? We had this thing last year, the Kamala connection, right? Where we basically said, okay, whatever the news of the day is, you want to connect it back to Kamala. I do that. If you follow me, anybody that's been following me for a long time, they'd be like, this bitch will connect anything to Kamala Harris. And you're right, I will. If you see me on Rolla Martin every Thursday, I just make sure that I, incorporate Kamala Harris into it. Somebody says Trevor and Jabuki keep trashing her. Daily Show must be Bernie Bros. And I drag the fuck out of Trevor Noah, punk ass. So fuck him. At the end of the day, nobody is going to be universally liked, especially not a black woman. But it was people who ate on Obama. And guess what? He served 2 terms. And it was no problem. So fuck them. If somebody don't like Kamala, straight up fuck them. Period. A blue check don't like Kamala, fuck them. A celebrity don't like Kamala, fuck them. Who the fuck are they? They ain't nobody. Kamala still made it this far, right? Even though the bitch didn't like her or the motherfucker don't like her. So who cares? We got to toughen up. Okay? I know for me, I don't like to see it. I really don't. I really don't. And I be wanting to drag the fuck out of people. But you know what I say? You know what? Fuck them. Moving along. Moving along. But anyways, now what you put out? Make the Kamala connection. Like I said, I will make the Kamala connection to anything, literally anything. But also share resources. Somebody says, what is the ADOS thing about her? Listen, it's just some bullshit. Just understand that it's a fucking chaos operation. If you see ADOS, I can tell you what, ADOS is somebody. I will never interact with ADOS. I immediately block. Block, bye. I'm not even doing it. So that's not even worth it. And like I said, and people got mad, motherfuckers don't even vote. So I'm not going to fucking engage with it. Don't even vote. Okay? Think to yourself, is this person a voter? Yes or no? If not, fuck them. But, okay, so I tweet, if you guys look at my pinned tweet on Twitter, I'm going to keep a pinned tweet that has resources. Unless I have to do some rapid response dragging a motherfucker, okay? Then I might have to pin it, but I'm going to try to keep that pinned tweet. That. Now, I think that the best thing to share is, you know, people are like, oh, I don't know anything about Kamala, this, and the other. I would suggest sharing the Credentials Not Cosmetics 20 for 2020 article. I still have some more stuff to add to it, but it is a very comprehensive article. It has 20 categories. It has something for everybody, anything people are interested in. You can share anything, okay? I'm not saying it to promote myself. I don't get paid nothing off of this shit. But I'm just saying in terms of an encyclopedia of Kamala Harris knowledge, that one is pretty comprehensive. And like I said, I still have more work to do on it. If somebody is like, how do I learn more about it because I want to talk to other people, then, you know, the mega thread is always good. The mega thread, the way that it's organized is it's a thread with links to more threads. Okay, so you got to do some clicking, but it has so much shit in there. I think it's really, really helpful. There's a disinformation debunked thread. So that one has the article that I wrote for Medium on it. It also has threads of videos that I've done debunking stuff. The truancy thing is something you're going to fucking hear a lot about. Okay, truancy is a big smear tactic. Kevin Cooper, they don't say Kevin Cooper, they say that she kept a black man in jail even after he was exonerated, which is not true at all. People are asking for this information, so I'm going to go to my Twitter right quick. That never happened. And so a lot of people, they say stuff that's not. It's just a flat out lie. So there's a disinformation debunked thread that I will say probably has just about every single possible smear you can think of. Like I feel like I've covered like 99.9% of it. Because I have encountered every smear under the sun, and I've also encountered people that are kind of like only got half the smear right. Like they're saying stuff and I'm like, okay, so you're combining this smear and that smear and then this smear and then boom, now you got a new smear. And it's like stupid, okay? So let's see, is truancy and misunderstanding of Back on Track? No. Back on Track and truancy were two completely separate initiatives. So truancy was saying that elementary school kids need to be in school. Okay? Truant is, people say Kamala Harris locked up parents because their kids skipped school. That's not true. Chronically truant is a whole fucking different beast than somebody skipped school. Okay? Nobody is locking up parents because their fucking 16-year-old wants to go skip school and smoke cigarettes at the mall. Okay? That's not what Kamala was talking about. She's talking about second and fucking third graders. Oh, interesting. Somebody says Cherie Peoples is doing the interview rounds. Cherie Peoples was the basis for a Huffington Post hit piece. in which they tried to pin um, her situation, which definitely seemed like a horror story, on Kamala Harris. Well, if you actually read the story and understand the details about it, first of all, truancy has been a crime in the state of California since 1974, I believe, in the 70s. Okay, so Kamala Harris did not create the notion of truancy as a crime. It had always been a crime in California. All right. Now, in Cherie Peoples' case, there was a gang reduction initiative program. It was called the GRIP program. And through that program, which started years before the quote unquote Kamala truancy bill, right? She was actually arrested for that. Now, again, it was in Orange County. Orange County has its own district attorney. District attorneys can arrest you for any number of fucking things. That's not something that Kamala Harris has any jurisdiction over. And it had always been a crime. Now, what's interesting is that for the GRIP program, all she had to do was take a parenting class, right? And they would drop the charges and, whatever the situation may be, it would just be completely expunged, right? She didn't want to do that. And I understand that she didn't want to do that, but at the end of the day, the fact that you went through a 2-year legal battle because you didn't want to do something simple is not Kamala Harris's fault. Like, she has nothing to do with that. So I have a very extensive thread on that particular topic, with a lot more receipts and things like that. But I think it's interesting if she's making the rounds, if she's trying to kind of make a connection there, then she clearly doesn't understand how the law works, how jurisdictions work when it comes to who actually is empowered to prosecute you. So let's see. I'm gonna share with you guys this truancy thread. I actually did a couple of threads on truancy, but this one 1977. So I stand corrected. Okay, so that's truancy, and I just shared this thread. Tall, Dark, and Lovely says, do you mind us quoting your threads? Please share all of this stuff, okay? Share all this stuff. It does not do me any good if nobody sees it, okay? Because the biggest way to fight back is just with the truth. And isn't that actually amazing that, you can actually defend a person with the truth? A lot of times you have to just bullshit people and be like, oh, what does it matter? And all kind of shit. And so, but we don't have to do that. Somebody says, please help us with clarification on Kamala's handling of the Catholic priest abuse in California. I've debunked that. I did a very extensive video on that. Let's see if I have it linked here. So I did here it is. So I did a live session on it. I did an extensive live session, but this clergy shit, and I brought receipts. I did kind of condense it into one, video, 2-minute video. So yeah. Listen, there isn't a fucking Kamala smear that I haven't addressed. Raymond says, what about the transgender prisoner? Okay, so that's another thing that people like to bring up, and they like to say that Kamala is anti-trans, which is bullshit. So, there are some things that don't look good for Kamala. I'm going to be honest, right? Because number one, let's just be clear. The California Corrections Department have their own policies. Their policy was to not pay for gender reassignment for prisoners, okay? And that policy was challenged. Kamala Harris's Attorney General's office has 1,000 lawyers, has tens of thousands of cases, and their responsibility is to defend the state agencies. When the California Corrections Department is sued, they don't go out and fucking hire Lisa Bloom, okay, or Michael Avenatti. The state represents them. That's how this works. That's literally the point of the fucking Attorney General, okay? You have to represent state fucking agencies. And so the state, the attorneys working in support of representing their client, which is the California Corrections Department, did submit briefs that were, defending that rule or that policy to not pay for gender reassignments. Okay, that did happen. And Kamala Harris has said herself that she regrets that she wasn't informed about that particular case. Okay? So that's fucked up. But at the end of the day, it's completely asinine to expect that she's going to be able to micromanage tens of thousands of cases and court filings. But here is the important part. Okay? Here's the important part. When Kamala Harris found out what was happening, she actually wrote the policy to change it. She actually fixed it. She worked behind the scenes and got it changed. She actually personally helped this particular person, okay? Now, again, this is the California Corrections Department policy, all right? So it's still their discretion whether or not they want to enforce it. And there were, I saw an article that said 10 people who requested a, gender reassignment as prisoners were granted that, since Kamala wrote that new policy or helped craft that new policy for the Department of Corrections. But she doesn't have any control over that. That's continued under Xavier Becerra. Attorneys generals are not micromanaging prisoner gender reassignment surgeries. They're just not. I know that people think that everything that happens in the state of California, Kamala Harris was personally culpable for. Somehow she's not. She doesn't get any credit for anything, but she's culpable for every bad thing that's ever happened. And so it's absurd. So as far as the trans prisoner thing that they like to pull out, let's just be clear. Kamala Harris worked to get the policy changed, personally worked, and there are people that can attest to that. And she wrote a policy, helped write the policy, helped craft the policy that allowed for people, for the first time ever in the state of California, who were prisoners to get gender reassignment surgery. Okay? And, people's woke queen, Elizabeth Warren, when she ran in 2012, she explicitly ran against this. Are you kidding me? Somebody said Brittany Cooper was on MSNBC talking about how great it is that Kamala was selected. Anyways, okay, so does that explain it to you? So listen, there is nuance in a lot of these situations that it's not like it's not a fabulous answer, okay? But that's why we have to spend our time. We have to really spend our time expanding the conversation. If we only have the conversation on these cherry-picked things that are picked to be as inflammatory as possible, we're going to lose. Okay, that's what my whole goal has always been, to expand the conversation. Let's see. Ryan says, thank you for addressing this, Reese. This is obviously an issue that hits close to me, and I know that she's an ally to the trans community, but I've struggled with how to engage my community about this instance that can be painful. Didn't know about her new policy. Looking forward to researching more. Thanks for the receipts. Yeah. That's a topic I don't really engage as much in, because at the end of the day, it is true that people wrote briefs to support, again, their client's position. And it's the same way that somebody wrote the whole, they like to say, Kamala wanted to keep people in prison for cheap labor. And that's not true. some, lower level deputy attorney general wrote a briefing again in support of the California corrections. And they argued their position. They defended their position. The person lost the ruling. And when Kamala found out, she was pissed, But, I mean, let's just talk about our own families. Do you know everything somebody does? I mean, some of y'all are married. Do you tell your spouse every penny that you spend? There are different levels of abuses. If your spouse go out and buy a whole ass fucking car without your permission, you might be like, what the fuck, we getting a divorce, But if somebody go out and order some packages and shit on Amazon, and maybe they intercept them before you see them, and you don't know what the fuck going on, it's like, okay, well, not a big deal. I'm not saying that these cases are not a big deal, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it's impossible to know every single goddamn thing that everybody's fucking doing when you have millions of documents from tens of thousands of cases every year, okay? Anyways, Denise says, yes, I work for CDCR and now a parole agent. So you understand. I don't understand. It's so weird that people talk about how fucked up and awful the prison system is. And then yet they're surprised that there are these fucked up positions that had to be defended because their lawyer is the state attorney general. But one thing that's been consistent in Senator Kamala Harris's record is, regardless of what her legal obligation was to defend, then she has always worked behind the scenes to try to change it. Now, some people like to say, oh, okay, some of y'all are going to the fundraiser. That's cool. No big deal if you want to hop off. Some people like to say, well, she chose not to defend Proposition 8. Well, be clear. Proposition 8 was not a product of these state agencies. Proposition 8 was a ballot measure by private citizens or organizations. So she said, fuck y'all, I'm not defending it. And the Supreme Court actually sided with the fact that they did not have standing on behalf of the state. Only the Attorney General has standing on behalf of the state. So people don't understand these nuances when they say, well, how come she defended the California Corrections Department, but she chose not to defend Proposition 8. She can pick and choose when she wants to defend something. No, that's not how this works. But people don't understand civics. Okay, so anyway, so there's a lot of stuff on there. You can always, on any of these lives, if you hear something, hey, I've heard, this about Kamala or whatever, and I will address it. And so I will definitely try to help push back on it. But you'll find I've pretty much address everything in multiple iterations of it. So yeah. So that's that. But I know the fundraiser is starting, so I know people probably want to go, which is fine. But please at least share positive things about Kamala and Joe Biden. Even it doesn't have to be what I put out there, but just make sure that you're engaging with positive comment. Make sure that you're not wasting your energy on fucking assholes who are not convertible. And make sure you're talking to people about how fucking awesome Kamala Harris is. People already like Joe, so we got to make sure that we protect. Joe said it today. We have to make sure that we protect Kamala Harris. All right, so that's all I have today. Check out my pin thread. I've put some links in the chat. And I will see you guys tomorrow, 5 p.m. Bye, y'all.